Okay, well, let's start off cross-legged again. And we'll close our eyes for a sec. Wipe my eyes here. Start slowing down your breath. Expanding that belly outward as we inhale. Try to let those shoulders relax down. Let your elbows feel kind of heavy. Big breath in. We're going to exhale, drop the chin to the chest. And then inhale, lift the chin toward the ceiling. Bring that head back to neutral. We're going to send an ear over your shoulder. Still breathing deeply. Then we'll move through the middle and drop the ear off on the other shoulder. Awesome. We'll turn that head to the center. We're going to walk the fingertips forward. A couple of easy breaths. Keep those shoulders down. 2 more breaths. We're going to inhale. Let's draw up and just make some easy twists, holding as long as you'd like, just twisting from one side to the other. And when you're ready, we're going to come back to the center and we're going to go ahead and stand on up. And once you're up there, we're going to be folded forward. So you can move your feet to about a shoulder width wide and keep those knees nice and relaxed. Here. Relaxing through that back. Okay, we're going to bring the hands in close to the legs. Inhale and draw the back up till it's flat. So we're pulling the elbows back, getting the spine parallel to the floor. A couple of breaths. When you're ready, we're going to exhale down. Fold those forearms, one over the other. And a couple little easy rotations. So moving the shoulders side to side. Okay, if you want to stay here longer, go ahead. When you're ready, release those hands. We're going to bring the knees forward, hips forward. Bring your body up nice and tall. We're going to stretch the hands. overhead. Take a few breaths. Okay, keeping both hands up, we're going to move the hips to one side of the mat and stretch the hands together. Okay, I'm just cutting my head off. And then repeating, we're going to move the hips to the other side, hands shift over. Just come back to the middle. You can hold up for as long as you'd like. When you're ready, relax those hands down, take a few breaths. For a few yawns. Okay, we're going to send the hips back and bend at the hips. Allow the spine to go down. Just hold at this middle position so your spine is parallel to the floor. Big breath in. We're going to exhale, stretch down toward the feet. Reaching those hands down. Give it 2 more breaths. All right, we're going to inhale, knees forward, hips forward, body all the way up. We're going to reach the hands up. Big breath in. Rotate to the side, exhale, and big circle with the arms. You're drawing the sun. And then as your hands come together, you can turn back to the front. We'll inhale. Bring the arms overhead, turn to the other side, same thing. Big round movement. Again, turning back to the front, inhale. Reaching those arms as far back as they'll go. We'll turn to the side, keep that back pressure on the arms, and big circle, stretching through those shoulders. Take your time. Once your hands are down, we'll repeat one more time on the other side. So we're pushing those arms back as far as they'll go. We're turning the chest and shoulders to the side, and we're keeping that back pressure on the shoulders. Big, big circle, nice and controlled. And then bringing it back around to the front. Very good. All right, just a couple of ankle stretches. We're going to send one foot back, just stretching through the ankle, so not going into a warrior, just planting that back foot, and we're turning the toes as far to the front as we can. So we're not doing a normal warrior with the foot to the side. We're going to take that back foot and point it toward the front of the mat and do a big stretch on that back ankle. We're going to bring the foot in slightly and just pick the heel up, leaving the toes on the ground, so stretching out through the bottom of the foot. Yeah, this is the fun one. Trying to spread out those toes as much as you can. Now, if you're able to, you're going to flip the toes the other way. So you're going to leave the toes there, allow them to curl under and stretch the front of the foot. There we go. So working on that balance a little bit. Now we're going to swing that leg through, place the heel in front of you, pull the toes up, and just send your hips to the rear. You don't have to go very far before you'll start feeling a stretch in the back of that calf. Okay, so we're gonna repeat on the other side. So let's start with just putting that leg behind. We're turning the toes as straight as we can toward the front of the mat. Just allowing that heel to stretch, back of that ankle. Okay, then we're gonna pull that foot up slightly, allow the ball of the foot to rest on the mat, and we're stretching out the toes. And trying to keep those toes spread a little bit so we can hopefully stretch through all your toes from your big toe out to your pinky toe. Now same thing, we're gonna take that foot, flip those toes under, and allow for a stretch on the top of the toes and the top of the ankle. And last bit, we're gonna swing that leg through, pick the toes up, heel down, and just shift your hips slightly to the rear to stretch out that calf. There we go, we're gonna bring it on up, awesome. Okay, so we're gonna do a little balance pose. If you need to move toward the wall, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, you can try it on your mat. So we're gonna go into the tree pose. So we're gonna start by spreading out the toes of one foot. And we're gonna take our other foot and bring it in nice and close. Starting to challenge our balance. Just making our base a little bit smaller. And then you can stack that foot on top of the other to make it a little smaller. And as you're more comfortable, you're gonna start lifting that foot up your tree trunk leg, your root foot. So you get as high as you can with knee facing forward. Okay, so just placing that foot on top of the leg, and then we're gonna allow the knee to move off to the side. And then if you're comfortable, you can bring your hands together at your chest. So now we're starting to lift through the chest rather than rounding through the shoulders. We're lifting, allowing the shoulders to move back. Trying to press those toes into the floor. And you can either stay here or you can try to bring the hands up overhead, up and back. Falling over. 2 more breaths. And we're gonna lower those hands down, let that foot go. You can shake out the other foot. Then we're gonna try the same thing on our opposite leg. So we're spreading out the toes first, getting a good grasp on the floor. We're bringing the other foot in, making our base smaller. And then you can stack that foot on top of the other. And then start gradually working that foot up your leg as high as you're comfortable. Knee still facing forward. And as you catch your balance, you can start to move that knee off to the side, getting a little lift through those hips. That way everything is stable. Then we're going to take the hands, bring them together at the chest, and try to lift your sternum into your thumbs. Same thing, you can either stay here, or if you want to progress it further, take those hands and move them up overhead, work those palms back. Two more breaths. Very good, we're gonna lower the hands down, Allow that leg to relax. You can shake out the foot you were standing on. And we're gonna send the feet out nice and wide. Good, all right, so let's take one foot and turn it out. Hips nice and square. We're gonna lift those hands up over both legs and then move your weight in the direction of that front leg. Front knee is gonna be just over your ankle. Keep that chest open, so don't allow your hands to start closing. Chest open, and try to stay upright. Don't lean over your front leg, but instead feel like you're leaning back slightly. Keep your spine stacked. Try to have some strength through those arms and through the sides of your torso. So feel like you're pushing down on a bubble. We're going to keep the arms where they are. Start to straighten up through the front leg. And we're going to tip at the hips. So front arm is going to move down. Other hand's going to move up toward the ceiling. And remember, you don't have to go all the way down towards your ankle. You can stop a little higher on your shin if need be. We're going to take this top arm. Let's kind of close that down, stretch it down toward your leg. We're going to take the other arm and just stretch it off to the side. So kind of turning the body to face that leg. Just don't slap the person next to you. Okay, you can lower that leg down. We're going to inhale, draw it on up. Give yourself a second. We're going to pull that foot in. Send the other leg off to the side, other foot, rather. Okay, now same thing, we're going into a warrior. So bringing those hands up over each leg and slightly bending that front knee, just moving your knee over your ankle. Once again, avoiding reaching too far forward. We're going to stack that spine, shoulders over your hips. Keeping that chest open. Big breath in. We're going to exhale, straighten that front leg, and send that hand down towards your front shin or ankle. And keeping that chest open to the side. Big stretch through the middle of the thigh and into the side of the back. One more breath in. We're going to exhale and close that down. And then repeat on the other side, just lifting that arm out to the side, straight off the side of the body. You don't have to do a huge twist. And just give it a couple of breaths. We're going to lower that arm down. Take your time. Go ahead and bring the body up and away from that leg. And bring that foot in. Go ahead and sit down onto the mat. And we're going to do feet out in front, hands behind you, just getting a little rest for that low back. We're going to rock the knees a little side to side. You can rest your knees for a sec, bring your body forward, just fold over those bent knees. Inhale, bring those hands back one more time, just rocking the knees side to side. All right, so we're gonna go over into tabletop position, going through cat and cow. Loosening up that spine some. Place the hands underneath your shoulders. Knees under your hips. Okay, nice flat spine. We're gonna inhale, arch the spine, take a few breaths here. And when you're ready, you can rotate through, exhale through, and round the spine. And when you're ready, you'll inhale, arch your back. Big breath in, exhale to round. If you want to do one more through those, you can. We're going to meet in extended child's pose. So when you're finished, you're going to send your knees out, toes together, and we're going to stretch out and back. All right, so we're going to move into our restful position for the end here. So you can go forward onto your belly, or you can stay there where you are, or go onto your back. Go ahead and find a position that is comfortable for you. Let's breathe these last few minutes. Alrighty, we'll lay here for another minute or two. And as you decide that you're done for today, you can wiggle around and just sit up when you're finished. Alrighty, well, all my online people, thank y'all for coming, and we'll be back on Wednesday.